Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. I'm your host, Michael J. Maher, and I have a very, very special guest here today. I cannot wait to introduce you to, but I'm going to make you wait because I want to ask you, what's it going to take for you to get on the event train? What's it going to take for you to listen to this podcast over and over again and watch us deliver results in event after event after event? And literally the ideas are limitless as long as you implement. So my question for that is just what's it going to take? And I don't want to I'm not here to just have a podcast. I'm here to create behavior change, and I'm here to help you implement. And I want to do that. Join GenGen.com. First step, just join GenGen.com. Come over to our group, see what we're all about, see what we're doing, and let us know the podcast sent you. But I'm getting to this point where I'm tired of you playing small. And when I say you, I mean the listener and viewer who is just watching, listening, maybe even learning. Can you fathom that Maher is upset with learners? I'm upset with learners because learning without implementation is just a lie. It's just entertainment. So I want you to listen today with the thought that you're going to put something like this together. Now, you will most likely not see the results that she has seen from her third event. You're not. But you might see this result in your third event. But what do you got to do your third event? You've got to do a first event, and you've got to do a second event. And it just takes the first step. Check out eventmastery.com. Check out referralmasteryacademy.com. Check out what we're doing. And I just invite you to join our family. Join our tribe of trust. And join us in honestly building a legacy based on love, generosity, and appreciation. Not just a business and not just a life, but something bigger than your business and life is this legacy of love, generosity, and appreciation. And I want to just welcome you to that. I'm sorry to stand up on the podium right from the beginning and get in your grill a little bit, but here's the thing. It's like everybody's talking about doom and gloom and rates and the housing market and the business market. And listen, I'm not tone deaf. I see what's going on out there, but you know what? We're not seeing it. Inside GenGen, we're not seeing doom and gloom. We're not seeing a decline in leads and referrals. We're actually seeing an incline in leads and referrals as people are referring and counting on the word of mouth of their friends even more than ever. They're going to people they trust even more than ever because the market's not super hot, because that things have changed. They're really looking for somebody to trust in this marketplace, in this economy, and you can be that person running the referral mastery system. And I'm just going to step off my podium for a second there and just keep rocking here. But it's one of those where, dang it, let's go. Speaking of let's go, I have to give a big shout out on iTunes for the podcast from Ashley Liz. I loved a masterful lesson in time blocking with Michael, Carla, and Neil. The discussion about creating daily habits and blocking out your time so that you can be present in all areas of your life was so valuable. As a mom who works from home with young kids, time management is a constant struggle. And this episode inspired me to be more dedicated and determined in this area. Ashley Liz, welcome to the Generosity Generation, and thank you so much for giving us a review and also commenting on iTunes for the podcast. One quick call to action, speaking of time blocking, Time Mastery class just started yesterday. It's not too late. You can get in today, and I've got a little special promo for you to incentivize you and motivate you. Visit timemasteryclass.com, and if you use the code TM for Time Mastery Podcast, you will get $200 off the class. That's right, TM Podcast, and that is the code. It's all one word, TMPODCAST, and you will get a $200 off opportunity to take that class because we want you to get involved, and hopefully this incentivizes you, and let's rock it. Let's make it happen. Speaking of people who are rocking it, I am so honored and privileged to invite to our show and introduce to you one of our somewhat newest members of the Generosity Generation. Sonya is a money life coach who has a passion for serving people. She supports couples and individuals in creating spending plans, becoming debt-free, raising credit scores, the importance of life insurance and wills, and how to leave a legacy. Sonya joined the Generosity Generation in the summer of 2022. You realize that's like 9 months ago. And she jumped all in. She's an avid Referrals podcast listener, yay, a member of the Referral Mastery Academy, and has taken every class since she's enrolled. She attended RMS 22 in Orlando, and most of all, she's an implementer. That's the finest compliment I can give. I truly believe that's the best compliment I can give. Sonya has been married for 32 years to Glenn. They have 5 amazing daughters, 3 son-in-laws, soon to be 4, and 6 grandchildren. Sonya Colliver, welcome to Referrals Podcast.
I'm excited to be here.
I love it. I love it. And isn't it the coolest when you listen to something on a regular basis, and part of you, and maybe I'm speaking for you, but part of it, at least for me, is like, I want to be on that podcast someday. Like, I'm going to earn my way to be on that podcast and be interviewed on that podcast. Like, was that a thought for you to listen to this, and you've been listening over the last 9 months? And is this the accumulation of a goal?
Yeah. I've read your book years and years ago, and I've given away, I don't know how many copies. And then I found out you had a podcast, and I listened to it, and I'm like, I want to be on that someday.
I love it.
I want to be able to talk to him.
Someday is today.
Some days today.
Yeah, let's go. I will tell you, your genuine, awesome reaction on Event Mastery when I told you was priceless. It was just priceless. And that's what I love about the podcast. I came kicking and screaming to the podcast. I was having lunch, and then I was going to have dinner at Dave Ramsey's house in Tennessee. And so we're walking around and just kind of enjoying things. And he goes, oh, you know what? I hate to do this, but I got to go do my show. Right. So, and he's locked into a time. He does a radio show. And so, this was about an hour before the show. He does ton of prep. He's a professional. So he went and did a show. And at that moment, I was just like, I do not want to be handcuffed to like a show, like a radio show that's locked into a time. Mm-hmm. And so I really came kicking and screaming to the podcast world until I discovered that I have control over when we record this, and I time block it in, right? We're recording this during my time block for the podcast, and I had control over the time. And now I am so glad that we've done it, because when the announcement was made on Event Mastery that you were going to be a guest on the podcast, I saw everybody else's face. It instantly changed. And Sonya, you're the inspiration, because what happened is they all were now like, I'm going to implement. I'm going to do this event because like I want to be on the podcast. And it just like, it was such a magical moment. And I just appreciate you for that, and your willingness to be authentic and vulnerable, and honestly willingness to come on to the Referrals Podcast.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I have to ask you, like, I want to know, last summer you were introduced to the generosity generation. You'd read the book some years ago, but how did you get involved in the first place? Was there somebody that invited you, or how did you discover us?
I knew your book. I've given it out, and I don't know why it's not like in school. So I gave it to a friend of mine, and she's like, there's like a website and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a realtor, so I didn't pay attention to that part. And she goes, yeah, you got to check it out. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. And she goes, well, you got to do this, you got to do this. And so when I signed up, I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I'm so excited. And so I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. And so I was listening to all those. And then when there was a class, I'd take a class, because there's never enough education. And that's one thing. You can lose your house, your car, your boyfriend, the goat, but you can't lose an education. So, so I'm just like, what's next? What's next? And event mastery, that's my jam right there. That's my jam. I'm loving it.
Well, what was the first class you took?
They introduced me to, I got into the middle of 30 mornings with, I cannot remember.
Polly and Angela?
Yeah, Polly. Yeah, I got into the middle. And then I think the next one was event mastery. And then I went back in the next 30 mornings I was in. Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
And now you're in event mastery again, right?
Yes.
So, all right. So this is your third event. So what was your first event? And give me like the 2 or 3 minute snapshot of your first event. What did you title it? Who and how many came? And what'd you do?
It was called I Love You, a Latte Soul to Soul, which meant your soul to your shoes, because I'm a shoe person. We had about 20 something people show up, give or take, maybe 26 register, maybe less than that. Everybody got a ticket for a latte, and we had some drawings. We had I had quite a few sponsors that came in. I had way more sponsors than people.
Yeah.
Everybody loved the lattes. They had a good time. And a lot of people were like, I didn't even know this place was here. This is like one of the best networking events I've ever been to. Nobody's selling me anything. I've made a connection with them, so I was like, oh, wow, this is great. Well, let's do another one. So the next one I did was.
All right, hold a second. I want to talk about the We Love You Latte Soul to Soul, right? So first of all, great name, and it fits you. That's what I love about our system is, we're going to teach events and how to do them, but you're going to fill in the blanks on the entertainment, the education, and the charity, right?
Yep.
And so the thing that I love about that is, like you said, I love shoes, and and it made a lot of sense, soul to soul, right? Shoe to shoe, belly to belly, ear to ear, face to face. I love that. And, the other part of it too, that I love, especially because I know that this was a product of you coming out of Event Mastery, is you had more sponsors than people, or almost, you're kind of exaggerating, but, imagine how many people that are listening to this, worry about even people showing up, and yet here you are, you packed it out with sponsors. Like how much did you end up paying for the first event? Like was it you had to pay $1,000? Was it a zero, like a zero based event, or did you profit from it?
I actually profited
from your very first event, right? And so how much did you profit total?
I believe it was around $175.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is you bought lattes for everybody, and it was one of the best events people had, and you had sponsors, and you made $175 that you can use for your next event, or for door prizes, or keep it and use it for a college education for one of those 6 freaking grandkids. So here's the thing, right? Is that the other part of it too, that I have to give you kudos, because you trained your sponsor partners so well that they weren't there selling. Well, the way we teach it, they don't have to be selling, because we have a system for that, that's helping them get leads and get referrals and that kind of thing. So I love that you had that conversation with the sponsors, and great networking event. Everybody was applauding it, which means they're going to come to number 2. Right.
Yep.
So what was your second event?
Gumbo and Goals.
Gumbo and what?
Goals, like
Goals.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what'd you do?
I had more sponsors. So I had.
Now, you're not in Louisiana, are you?
I'm deep south, boo. Yes, I am.
Yes. Go Tigers or
That's
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Cajun country.
GEAUX, right? So, all right. So Gumbo and Goats. I love it. Or Goals. All right.
Gumbo.
Yeah. So what'd you do?
So for that one, I had a guest speaker talk about goals for about 10 minutes. She donated her time. She was a sponsor. She also donated the Gumbo. DJ, photographer, lots and lots of donations. I say donate, they were, sponsors. And on that one, we had more people show up, almost 30, I believe. I think we got 40 people registered because the place I was using at that time could only hold 40. So we had 40 people register, 30 something show up. New people, they found me on Eventbrite. They didn't even know about this. And they were like, we've never been to an event like this. The Gumbo was fantastic. Introducing people, connecting people together. They were massively excited about it. And they're like, we didn't even know this place existed. We didn't know there was networking done this way. Where'd you learn this from? Who's this event? I'm like, I'm putting this on. Hi, my name is Sonya Colliver,
I love it.
So, yeah.
I love it. And the thing that I also love about this is that you're doing this out of the spirit of generosity and the spirit of your heart. And yet, through your first two events, you also built your Money Life Coach business, right? Mm-hmm. So out of the first two events, before we get to the third event, how many leads, referrals did you get? And how many clients did you get from the first two events?
From the first two events, I got 3. From the second event, I got 4. And then I was contacted by somebody to help and put on an event for them.
Love it.
Yeah.
So 7 new clients just from those two events, right?
Exactly.
All right. And so that leads us to like the home run event a little bit, right? So you had a spring event recently. So tell us about what you did with the Hoppin' Tea Party.
So a friend of mine opened up a new business and it's teas and shakes. And she needed some help. And I said, let's have an event. And she's like, what's an event? And I said, well, let me explain it to you, boo. So I told her about it and we got 12 sponsors. And I had her inviting her list and we worked together and it was absolutely phenomenal. I had locked it at 50 because of space wise. However, we reached the 50 a week before the event. And I had people calling going, Sonya, I can't get in your event. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't get in? She goes, it's capped. I'm like, so I looked because I was checking and I was like, oh my God. So we had to open it up to 70. So we actually had 63 people register to come to the event and we had over 40 show up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We were packed.
All right. And you had 12 sponsors. That's incredible. So did you was it a profit or a zero-based event?
Zero-based event.
Okay. So you did spend a little bit of money on this one.
No, I didn't. No. Oh. What I mean by zero-based is it zeroed out, all the money was all spent is what I'm saying. There was no profit, but yeah.
Yeah. So the sponsors might've contributed 1,000 or 2,000, but you spent it on door prizes or spend it on, different things. And yes. I mean, so it didn't cost you a dime to get all these referrals and leads. So how many referrals did you generate for the sponsors? So we had 63. So if I multiplied right, because everybody got the yeses and the maybes, I had very few no's. Yeah. So when I calculated it, it looked like
when you multiply it, it's like 980 something. I think it's 985.
Yeah. So 985 leads generated, referrals generated to your sponsors, and so on and so forth. And here's the kicker, right? This is your friend's venue, right? This is your friend's business that nobody even knew existed before. And now you have let 70 people know about it, and 40 to 50 showed up to experience it. What did your friend say after the event?
When it was all over with, she says, "I love you. It was fantastic. Please get out. I'm tired. I want to go home." Yeah. Well, lead generation can be a little tiring, but it's probably the most fun she ever had. She was
lead generation and prospecting.
She said it was absolutely fantastic. We gave away pink plungers, as you could see. Everybody had a fantastic time. People were like, "Oh God, I'm so glad I came in. I'm so glad I was able to get a ticket." We gave away teas and shakes, but you had to register. So when you had to register, we got the lead on that. So she gave away 38 teas or shakes. One of them was called the Dirty Bunny. It's all nutritional. It was a nutritional facility.
Yeah.
So it was hilarious because we were taking pictures with Dirty Bunny. So that was funny.
So what's in the Dirty Bunny, or should I not ask?
I don't know. It's some kind of chocolate mixture. I don't know. It's some kind of like energy drink. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it'd be much more. Yeah.
Little caffeine, little chocolate. It's hard to miss with that.
Yeah. And I don't really need that. I am already energetic as it is, but it was a lot of fun, and everybody was talking about it, and they were like, "I didn't even know this place existed. This is fantastic."
I love it. I hope she follows up, right? I hope she follows up with them, and what a great opportunity for them, and to the listeners and viewers, like, what a great opportunity for a newer business. Maybe even if you don't even know them all that well, you see a coffee shop open up, or you see a launch party is, quite honestly, one of the things I get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to help people put on. Like, Krispy Kreme is famous for the launch party, where they're going to open up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. There is a line 100 people long out of a Krispy Kreme for their grand opening launch party. And, why don't and I think one of the reasons that businesses don't necessarily have success is because they don't know how to promote themselves, and they don't know how to market themselves, and they don't know how to lead generate. They know how to make pies, or they know how to make shakes, but they don't know how to do the rest, right?
Correct.
And so, having a launch party is imperative. And I'll tell you, I don't know how long that business has been open. Did you tap into the Chamber of Commerce at all for that event? Just think about this. You could do another call it a grand opening, hoppin' tea party, right? Run the exact same play and have the chamber invite all of their people to your event, right? So and it's the same event, and and you've already got the playbook. You've already got. So there's a real opportunity with the grand opening, with the groundbreaking ceremonies, with the launch party. There's the real opportunity there. All right, love this. So. What, and I got to ask you, right? How did you do on yourself? How did your business do, right, from the last event?
So I'm working the referrals as we speak, and I had a meeting this morning. So with one person. So far out of it, I've gotten one business to do business coaching, because I do that. That's another reason I did it with the tea place, is she needs business coaching. So I do both. Money coaching is both of it, personal and business. Yeah. So that was another reason I got into that. So I did a lot of business. So I've gotten more. I'm working my referrals as we speak and setting up appointments.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next event?
So April the 20th is our next one. I've got to work up a name for that. So we're thinking about that. The charity is going to be, a friend of mine has a charity that collects items and for young ladies for hygiene.
Hygiene, yeah.
So that's the charity. So I'm going to come up with I haven't come up with a name. I'm going through your event mastery now. So April the 20th is our event.
Yeah. Which is what this class is for, right? Is for you to have an event April 16th through the 24th or 25th, and with April 22nd being Earth Day, which is a Saturday. And so this year it's really perfect for that 20th, 21st, 22nd, maybe even 23rd. So love that. And just so you know, do you know Toril White? Yes,
I took her class. She was in Florida, so I took her class.
Yeah. So she does a big feminine hygiene run charity. And so you may want to email her, or you may want to, or I can make the connection, however you want to do that. So how to place that? I will also tell you that I think I just shared in Event Mastery, the Facebook group. I just shared her invitation. And on the bottom panel, it had like the what to do for the feminine hygiene products. So that might be a good sample to look at as well. So is it charity only, or is there going to be an entertainment piece to it as well, or an educational piece?
There's always entertainment because they get me. Haha.
Yeah. Nice.
But it's we're doing a couple of different things. We're doing some headshots for businesses. So we're bringing in some business people. We're doing it. So I'm probably going to work it towards the grand opening, like you suggested, because she's only been open like 3 months. So this will be a great opportunity to do that. So that's probably the angle I'm going to work there with that. So as a grand opening, and we're doing that with a photographer, a DJ, and we're going to have sponsors, partners, just like we did before.
Love it.
And we're going to have the charity for my friend Susan. So I'm excited about that.
Love it. So you could literally call this anything. You could call it a spring fling, right? You could call it Spring Fest, and just own that title. You know, for years we did Spring Fest, Summer Fest, and Fall Fest, right? Because you're having music, like the fest part makes a lot of sense. The charity is kind of an add-on. So I don't think you necessarily need to place that in the title necessarily. It's like the title is to get them to come, right? It's to get them to attend. So Spring is Sprung is kind of a, big title now. And I have to tell you, with you being in Louisiana, one of my favorite foods in the world is jambalaya. So like you have to do an event sometime just for me called the Jambalaya Jam. Doesn't that and you can make it bigger in the future and call it the Jambalaya Jumbo Jam. I mean, like the alliteration alone gets me want to attend that, right? I mean,
I'm game when you are.
You got Gumbo and Goals, right? So Jambalaya Jam just makes sense. I'm just telling you. You don't have, and it's just like, that's what's fun about all this, right? Half the fun is making up the title and, being creative with it. So I'm sure you'll come up with a great title on that. And all right, so what are you going to do better at this event, the fourth event, than you did with the first three, right? And that's what I love about this is there's no perfect event. The first one's going to have some rockiness. The second one's still going to have rockiness. And sometimes the third has even more rockiness because the expectations are greater, right? But it's like you've had great event. What are you going to do better with the fourth event?
So the next one is once I find my partners, which I've already got about 6 lined up, I want to have a meeting. I'll probably have a Zoom call with them going, okay, who can we connect you with? Because that's who we're going to work to invite. Because what we're trying to do is make sure that our partners are connected with who they're interested in being connected and the tea, and get them to the tea and shake place. So we're trying to find out who they want to be connected with, because I love connecting people. And a lot of times people don't know how to, small talk or introduce and stuff of that nature. So that's my part. That's the part that I enjoy most, is who are you looking to connect with? And that's who we're going to invite to the events.
it sounds like you've really kind of found your jam with all of this, Sonya.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see it on your face. I know some people are just listening to this and maybe they can hear it in your voice, but those that are watching on YouTube definitely get you right now, right? I mean, that's we talk about it all the time is the age old stuff was the ego era. I'm number one. ABC was always be closing. And now we're in the generosity generation. And it's I'm here to help. And the ABC is always be connecting, you're you're helping connect people. And what happens is with that connection, it leads to connections for you, more introductions, more referrals. And it's leverage and scale in the lead generation game. And I love the fact that we can do this and have a lot of fun. You're having fun, aren't you?
We usually dance at every event. And here's the best part. The reason I started doing the events and using your event mastery is, first of all, is the easiest thing. If you can read and follow directions, it's massively easy. But what I was finding in the area I live in is not the networking events for me personally were dry and not very interesting. And we sat down, had chicken or whatever they ate, and then everybody left. And I'm like, I didn't even hand out 2 business cards. I didn't make any connections. I paid $30 for this. And I'm like, this is not working for me. And once I got and understood what the event mastery was, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'll just do my own. And then I thought for a second, okay, so do I do it? I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it and see how it works out. And people are like, they're networking better. They're getting connected because they're not just sitting at a table. I usually don't even have tables and chairs. I take them all out. If I go somewhere, I'm like, we don't want that, because people they sit, and once they sit, they won't get up. And I'll go around and go, I don't know why you're sitting there. I need you to meet this person. Come on. Did you meet so-and-so? Come on. I need you to meet somebody. Because that's what it's about.
That's a pearl. Like, that's a nugget for everybody to just write down, is that the less tables and chairs you have in the room, the more energy your event will have, which is an absolute mind-blowing, counterintuitive thing for people. People would always say to me, and in fact, owners, when we did the house ring parties, the owner would say, I don't have anywhere for them to sit. And I was like, awesome. That's excellent. And we're going to have barbecue so they can stand to eat it with no problem. And if we do have a few chairs for the people who need chairs, then they'll have them. But there'll be more interaction, more energy, more fun if there's no chairs and very few tables. So I did have a few that didn't believe me, and they brought in tables and chairs for the garage, and we would do that. But as soon as they were done eating, I had my team put the tables and chairs up. So then we were standing in the garage, standing in the driveway, standing in the living room, standing in the kitchen, standing in the backyard, standing on the back deck. And they were talking, that the energy just bubbled up after, after the barbecue was served and they ate. And it's the same way with our events. You saw it with the I Love You Latte, right? We had all the chairs to one side. People couldn't sit down if they had to or wanted to.
Right.
The energy went up. Our DJ and dance and our 80s party, no chairs. Right. There were a few chairs around the sides, but everybody kind of had to stand and mingle and have fun. And that is just a thing that we don't touch on a whole lot or enough on the podcast about one of the secrets to keeping your energy up at the event. So, yes. And it is another reason why people sometimes will leave a little bit tired, but it's a good tired. It's like an exercise tired. Networking is a good exercise. And that's the truth. Right. All right. So any advice, kind of final words of wisdom moment, right? Any advice you want to share with someone who is new to Gen, or new to the referral mastery system model, what words of wisdom would you give them? What advice would you give them?
Take every class. Sign up for every single class and ask the question. Do not hesitate to ask the question. It's not a stupid question unless it's unasked. And just do an event. Just do it. If you get 12 people, you get 12 people. Make it fun. Make it you. I'm making it me. I'm Sonya Colliver. I am vibrant. I wear funny shoes. My hair sticks up. They know they're going to have energy at my event. So they want to come to that. If Make it you so they want to come be around you. And stop overthinking it because it doesn't pay. Overthinking doesn't pay that electric bill, but getting the referrals is going to pay the electric bill, and learn what to do with those referrals.
I love it. That's like a drop the mic. I love your energy. And yeah, the other part of that too is that like your passion and sunshine come out. And like, you know, we have self-mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery as our three components. And something that I see in you is you've really embraced FLY, which is first love yourself. And you've loved your quirkiness. You've embraced your quirkiness. You've embraced, like, this is what makes me me. And you know what? Damn it, that's a good thing.
This is it. This is, I have spiky colored hair because the gray's starting to come out. I'm blind in one eye. I'll say it again. I wear funky shoes. I like my nails done purple. This is who I am. And people like their energy. And I love making people laugh. I had somebody say at my last event, the Hoppin' Tea Party, she comes up to me, she goes, "You really need to be a comedian." She said, "I've done nothing but laugh for the last hour." So I was like, it. "Did you have fun?" And she goes, "Yes, I had fun." "When's the last time you went to a networking event and had fun?" And she goes, "I didn't." I said, "That's the point. You enjoyed yourself. You got a tea. We got to do this. You got to talk to some people. You made some connections and you laughed and had fun. Are you going to come to my next one?" And she goes, "When is it?" "April 20th. She said, "Send me the invite." I've already got them. They're already asking for the invites.
Yes. Yes. And more. Yes. That's what I'm hearing here. And what a great job by you that we understand that the thing we want to do at an event is invite them to the next event, right? What the reason for the event is to get more at your next event or better at your next event. And ladies and gentlemen, I think she just wrapped it up in a nutshell for all of us. It's Sonya Colliver. She is out of Louisiana. She is a money life coach. She's a business coach. She is Sonya at fixitchangeit.com. And Sonya is spelled SONYA at fixitchangeit.com. Please connect with her. Check her out. If you have any questions, let her know. Or if you got questions about her business, I encourage you to check her out. Sonya Colliver, thank you so much for being our guest here on Referrals Podcast.
It was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for inviting me. This is absolutely fantastic. I love the way the event things are working out, and I'm having a blast. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping us so we can get better and fly. First, love yourself.
Boom. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to keep doing this. I'm going to, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. It's okay. If you do like it, subscribe, rate, and review it, and let us know how we're doing. I don't care if you do that on YouTube or iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher or Amazon Audible. We're getting ratings and reviews everywhere now, which is fantastic, and nearly 20,000 downloads a month. And that's because people are listening to people like our guest today, Sonya Colliver. Such a pleasure to talk to implementers. I'm so done with the talkers. I'm so done with the criticizers and what's so funny, it reminds me of the poem, The Man in the Arena, where it's like, it's so easy to criticize the man in the arena, but the one who wins is the man in the arena, the one who's implementing, the one who's doing, the one who's fighting for what's right. And I'm telling you, it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. I will tell you that this has been amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know also, I know what's in the hopper for the next podcast. And that episode is going to be amazing too. So please make sure you tune in next time when we talk on the Referrals Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for subscribing, rating, reviewing, listening to us today, or watching us today on YouTube, which is the YouTube channel, Get Referrals, of course. I will see you next time on the Referrals Podcast.